Hello, this is Mark. This is December 10th, 2011, Monday, or Saturday. I thought I'd make this video. I just got done uploading videos, and I had my card cleared again, and so I'm filling it up again. And I'm trying to do simpler videos, and more spiritual videos that are less dedication to a Bible study. I think you have these scriptures. If I were to if I were to say something is in the Bible, like the age of Aquarius, which I have done, and someone would say, well, where do you get that? If you say something without scriptures, they say, where is that in the Bible? If you give the scriptures on something that is not apparent to someone, they say, I don't see that in the scriptures. And so I think I'm just not concerning myself with so much of the complexities in these longer videos and trying to explain things to people that won't look up in the scriptures, that won't look around at astrology, which is in the Bible. And yes, there is a mistranslation that says astrology is wrong in the King James. And I just want to make my videos not so much an attempt to try to, or an attempt to please people with an entertainment value. I just don't think I care anymore. I mean, I care. I don't know. I want somebody to watch my videos. But, I just don't have very many people. And apparently I'm doing all the wrong things, which to me I know are all the right things. And but I think it comes down to a simple dedication to God, and I think I was going to call this simpler dedication of the soul is what I was planning on calling this. It's what I wrote down for this video. I'm not trying to do a performance or anything like that. But it comes down to, and I've been thinking about this, it comes down to not some funny idea about spiritualism, but it really comes down to dedicating the soul to God. If you want to be a spiritual person, it comes down to things that the Bible talks about, like giving to the poor, or refraining from lust, starting to get rid of unnecessary things. That's what I mean by simpler dedication of the soul. You're not trying to do a fancy video. You're trying to, a person should not be trying to do, a Christian should not be trying to do a fancy video per se. That's not really their objective. Their objective is to get rid of their television, to stop listening to the radio if they can get that, and I've done those things, to get rid of the internet if they can, and I've gotten rid of the internet. I don't want my dedication to God to be electronic. I don't want, to put on a Michael W. Smith album. When I was a kid, Michael W. Smith was a big deal. He started out about when I was late teens, something like that, or mid-teens. And he was probably about 10 years older than me, so he was probably about 25. But you don't put on a CD. You don't have a rock concert in your church. It really comes down to your life. It doesn't come down to some type of church that you sit in, obviously. It's just about giving up. And I think when you give up your life to God, knowing that He will give you life, that He is faithful and He will give you life back. I think that's what it's about. I don't think it's about a fancy video. I don't think it's about a rock concert at your church. I don't think it is about how many people go to your church. I don't think it's about your church at all. I don't think churches are good things. And but I think it comes down to reading the Bible and trying to get more out of it, knowing that God has put more into it. It comes down to, yes, I will believe God, and if I don't believe God, or if I have trouble with my belief, and my belief, my personal belief has to grow, there's more for it to grow. I have more to go. Then you say, that you don't believe. A Christian says, or a non-Christian says, that might think they're Christian. I don't have what the Bible talks about. But it comes down to not working more hours at work, in order to so-called take care of your family. If you are a Christian father or a Christian mother, or if you're supposed to be a Christian father or a Christian mother, you are supposed to be at home with those children, not off on a business trip. It's fine for somebody to go outside of the home and work, but who's home with the kids? And you have these people and they say, well, we need a dual income. And what the kids need is a parent. They need a father and a mother. And, your life needs to start out with prayer. What I've been doing, just to be honest, is I've been praying that I pray more. And I know that what I have to ask of God, I will receive, because I have faith in Him. My health isn't good, and I pray for that to get better, but it's a giving over of your life. And it's allowing Satan to take your life from you, not holding on to your life. The Bible says if you give up your life, you will receive it. But if you try to keep your life, you will lose it. And there are people that are hearing, but but they're not understanding and they're not believing. And it really comes down to a dedication of your life to God. And if you're more dedicated to your money, or you're more dedicated to seeing your television, or you're more dedicated than to your computer, that you would rather have YouTube than have Christ, or rather have YouTube than be a Christian, that you'd rather have YouTube than God, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. And I think people are not willing to dedicate their soul. They don't want to listen to it. They want their churches, they want their little entertainment galleries, and their churches are entertainment galleries. The churches have a television here, and the churches have a television here. It seems like everybody's going to these bigger churches, and they have a television here, and they have a television here, and they have a band, and it's just, it's this idea, that people go to church to be entertained. And somebody says, well, I go to church for spiritual stuff. Well, your church doesn't provide spiritual stuff. Your church provides entertainment. And they say, well, it provides both. And I don't believe that. I don't believe that. It's not majoring in two things. If you go to school, usually you have a major and a minor. You really can't major in more than one thing. It's either one thing or the other with Christ. You cannot have two masters. You cannot serve two masters. And it comes down to your money and your life and your sexuality and your eyes looking at the computer and and not looking at things that are wrong to look at. Job had said that he made sure that he did not lust, and I don't know if I want to write that down. He made sure that he would not lust, and even back in the Old Testament. But it has to do with the spiritual life. That comes from the life of the soul. You know, if we are spiritually dead because we have lost contact with the Great Spirit, if I can use that term, then with the Father Spirit, and if it wasn't in the New Testament, people will be complaining that Christians said Father, called him Father. They could say he's not your Father, he's this glorious God, and you shouldn't call him Father. And you get this kind of reaction that people will say, if it doesn't say Father in the New Testament, if it didn't say Father in the New Testament, people would say, well, you shouldn't call him Father. He's this great God. Do you think he's your father? Your father's down here on earth. And you get that kind of reaction, and you get people logically parsing out something, and they're not using good logic. Anyway, it's about dedicating your eyes. So that's why the internet is out of my house. It's about dedicating your eyes to God, and that's why the television is out of my house. It's about spending your time in the Scriptures, spending your time with God, spending your time focusing on God. And it's not, it's not spending your time making other people think you're a good religious person, or that you're a good Christian, or that it's really about what is being a good Christian, which has to do with dedicating your life, has to do with this brokenness that says, I don't know the way, and I don't think people are willing to come to that. I don't think people are willing to admit that they don't know the way, because that is, it was with me associated with shame. And it was this thing, oh, I don't have the answers. Oh, yeah, but then that is how you get the answers. It says in John 1, that the evil people would not come into the light for fear that their deeds would be exposed. And that's what happens. And that'll be my video.